Today I am going to discuss about Kshira Sagara Mathanam. It looks a typical story, but not. It is a story of Puranic one. It is daily activities of our lifestyle is described in Kshira Sagara Mathanam. How? Let us see. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. In Hinduism, Samudra Manthanam, Kshirasagara Manthanam, or churning of the ocean of Milkis, one of the most famous periods in Puranas. This story appears in Bhagavata Purana, the Mahabharata, and Vishnu Purana. In literary terms, this tale is an allegorical description of what transpires during a Kundalini awakening process. Kundalini is a latent energy that lays dormant in the spine. Upon awakening, it rises in a sensation akin to a slithering snake. Of the signal column, we can say Merudanda. It is like a Merudanda, represented by Mount Meru in the story. Hindus see God is one, but with different forms and attributes, primarily as a trinity of creator, Brahma, the preserver, Vishnu, and destroyer, Lord Shiva. There is also female energy in the form of Durga, Kali, Lakshmi, Saraswati, etc. Subservient to these are other deities or divinities who control individual forces of nature: Indra, Varuna, Agni, Yama, Vayu, etc. The evil forces are represented by the Asuras, are both sons of the same father but two different mothers, Diti and Aditi, respectively. Both the good or the evil, or the Daivik or Asuric natures reside within humans. Qualities such as fearlessness, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, forgiveness, cleanliness, freedom from envy, etc. are classified as Daivik or godly qualities said in Bhagavad Gita. Anashritaha karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha sasanyasi cha yogi cha na niragnir na cha kriyaha. One who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renaissance order of life. And he is a true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no duty. Ye sanyasamiti prahuhu yogam tam taddi pandava Nahya sanyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kaschana. What is called renunciation? You should know to be the same as yoga or linking oneself with the Supreme, O son of Kunti or Pandu, for same father, but one can never become a yogi unless he renounces the desire for sense gratification. Materialism, arrogance, pride, anger, conceit, harshness, ignorance come under asuric or demonic qualities. Dambho darpo bhimanascha क्रोधः पारुष्यमेव च अज्ञानं चाभिजातस्य पार्थसम्पदमासुरी. Both the Devas and Asuras draw these energies from the Supreme Trinity of Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Now let us see the cause of, reason of Samudra Manthanam. The story of Samudra Manthanam. Lord Indra, the king of gods, while riding on an elephant called Airavata, came across a sage named Durvasa, who offered him a special garland. But Indra accepted the garland, placing it on the trunk of the elephant as a test to prove that he was not egoistic god. The elephant, knowing that Lord Indra had no control over his own ego, threw the garland to the ground. This enraged the sage, as the garland was a dwelling of Shri. Shri means fortune, and was to be treated as a prasada. The sage Durvasa cursed Lord Indra, all gods, to be bereft of, without of, all strength, energy and fortune. The Asuras gained control. The demons that were waiting for such an opportunity and invaded heaven. In battles that followed this incident, Devas were defeated and Asuras, led by the king Bali, gained control of the universe. Indra lost his kingdom and hid out of his sight of the demons. Then Indra sought help from Lord Vishnu, who advised the Devas to treat the Asuras in a diplomatic manner. The Devas formed an alliance with Asuras to jointly to churn the ocean for the nectar of immortality and to share among them. However, Lord Vishnu told Devas that he would arrange that they alone obtain the nectar. Shri means fortune. Devas mean demigods. Lost their Sri means wealth. Churning the ocean. The churning of the ocean milk was an elaborate process, not easy one. Mount Mandara was used as a churning rod, and Vasuki, king of the serpents, became the churning rope. The Asuras demanded to hold the head of the snake, while Devas, taking advice from Lord Vishnu, agreed to hold its tail. As a result of the demons were poisoned by fumes emitted by the mouth of Vasuki while they churned his body. Despite this, the demigods and the demons pulled back and for the snake's body alternatively, causing the mountain to rotate, which in turn would churn the ocean. However, once the Asuras carried the mountain and placed it in the ocean, it began to sink. What happened then? Lord Vishnu, in his second incarnation, Avatara, in the form of a turtle, Kurma, came to their rescue and supported the mountain on his back. The concept of milk ocean seed. The ocean of milk, which has churned by the gods and demons, represents the mind or the consciousness, which contains many hidden secrets and treasures. Immortality is also hidden in it. In Hindu literature, the mind is always compared to an ocean. Manosagaram, like that. While thoughts, emotions, modifications, and projections of the mind to the waves and the rise and fall. The symbolism of mind as an ocean is universal, known in other cultures also. The ocean also symbolizes samsara. That's why samsaram is compared to sagaram, or the phenomenal world. Just as the human body, the world is also a mixture of both good and evil. They both participate in the continuation of the world and play an important role in the liberation of beings. Death is the poison that is hidden in it. When you churn the world seeking things because of desires and attachments, you incur sinful karma, another poison which keeps you bound to the land of death. You cannot resolve the both without divine help or the help of Lord Shiva. Now see, Mount Manthara and tortoise. Mandara, a mountain which was used to churn, stands for concentration. Keenly observe. The mountain Mandara is symbol for concentration. Manthara is a combination of two words, manasu, mind, and dhara, a point, a line, which means a pointed mind in a state of concentration. As you know, you cannot practice spirituality or experience self-absorption without regaining your mind and holding it steady. During the churning of the ocean, Mount Mandara was supported by Lord Vishnu in his incarnation of tortoise form. The tortoise here stands for Pratyahara, the withdrawal of the mind and senses into one's self, which is essential to practice concentration. That is called dharana. And meditation or contemplation. Contemplation means dhyana. The symbolism also suggests that God, self or Vishnu, is the support for the mind when one is engaged in concentration. And the meditation or in any spiritual journey of the mind and body, you know that the tortoise has a very hard outer shell, while its inner parts are very tender. Therefore, it also symbolizes a yogi state of mind which is impenetrable from outside, but very tender and compassionate from inside, filled with devotion to God. The tortoise also symbolizes the human head. The outer shell represents the skull and the inner part of this brain. The head is the support of all spiritual activities, just as Vishnu was in the churning of the ocean. Now, let us see serpent Vasuki. The great serpent Vasuki, who was used by gods and demons to churn the ocean, represents desire or intention. In Hindu symbolism, desire has traditionally been compared to a 1,000-hooded serpent. As a divine serpent, Vasuki represents to the resolved desire or the good intention of the gods and demons to obtain Amrita, nectar, and attain immortality. Without right intention, there can be no initiation into spirituality, and without intention and initiation, there is no possibility of achieving liberation, moksha. Desires are also the driving forces in our actions or sacrifices. Desire-ridden actions are responsible for our karma. while desireless actions which are performed for the welfare of the world, such as daily sacrifices or the service or as sacrificial offerings to God, lead to liberation, mean moksha. Both gods and demons use desires as a rope. However, God churned the ocean according to the instructions of Vishnu for the welfare of the worlds and to protect them from evil, while the demons churned it solely with selfish intentions to use Amrita for their own ends. Hence, eventually, the demons failed to achieve liberation. Now, what it attained from churning ocean is hala hala, the great poison. During the churning of the ocean, hala hala, it means a great poison emerged out of the ocean. The hala hala represents all the negativity that surfaces in your consciousness when you begin spiritual practice. It represents pain and suffering, evil thoughts, negative feelings, and emotions such as anger, pride, doubt, delusion, and despair, which initiates experience at the beginning of their spiritual practice. When the mind is subjected to intense training and discipline during self-purification, it throws up a lot of demons and negativity, which act very much like a poison and destabilize the internal world of yogi. Hence, it was common for many initiates in the initial stages of their practice to experience intense fear and doubt or feel mentally disturbed. Some may even become mentally unstable or fall seriously ill. Such problems intensify if a seeker has weakened or unresolved problems, or if he does not have proper guidance or resolve. Collectively, all the suffering that arises in the initial stages of spiritual practice can be considered hala hala, the great poison of suffering. It can potentially destabilize a person and wean him away from the path of liberation. Now, let us see the picture of Lord Shiva. The intervention of Lord Shiva to resolve the problem of hala hala symbolizes the importance of yoga or asceticism, virtue, and purifying spiritual life. It is also a symbol the importance of divine grace and the meditation of spiritual mastery and liberation. Lord Shiva symbolizes a yogi or a renunciant, meaning a sannyasi. He represents the ascetic values of renunciation, equanimity, discipline, virtue, knowledge, and self-control. He is a pure, truthful, intelligent, auspicious, and inwardly detached. He was able to consume the poison that arose from the churning of the ocean because he was pure, strong, and divine. Therefore, seekers who want to deal with early problems of spiritual life, such as instability of the mind, negativity, or suffering, should cultivate the tapas, stir, and divine qualities of Lord Shiva. Only then they can withstand the rigors of spiritual life and protect themselves. At the same time, to remain protected and progress on the path, they should seek the grace of Shiva or the help of spiritual master, who is also a personification of Shiva, the universal teacher, or both. They pray to Lord Shiva, who is he, the healer of sickness and remover of all poisons. He came and saw the poison spreading in the ocean. He gathered the whole poison with his hands into a large cup, and while the gods and demons were watching in amazement, he swallowed it one gulp at a time. Parvati, his consort, mean wife, who was standing by his side, pressed his neck as he was swallowed to make sure that the poison would not flow into his stomach. Fortunately, due to the act of Parvati, the poison remained stuck forever in his throat. Therefore, he is called as Nilakantha. Lord Shiva is also the Lord of breath, Prananatha or Praneshwara. In the body, breath is a purifier and stabilizer. He is also the Lord of the organs who keeps the mind and body pure by removing their impurities and evil influences. In spiritual practice, here moves the poison of the mind and body, such as negativity, restlessness, stress, fear, and laziness. Advanced yogis gain great control over their breath, which many can even withhold for a long duration. During meditation, they also learn to keep their minds steady and free from impurities by holding their breath in their throat and near the palate. Concept of 14 gems from Milky Ocean. The churning continued and 14 ratnas were procured from it. These were divided between the demons and gods. The 14 gems are unrelated objects. One way of interpreting is that all that is useful to me came out of the churning, which stands for hard labor. Some people interpret the churning as a maritime expedition, others interpret it as a symbolic story. I will interpret it as getting useful things for mankind like cow, house, elephants, trees, wine, and amrita at various stages in human history. It was a long drawn struggle that finds like a cow, horse, and elephant improved the condition of man. Their discoveries or domestication were important milestone in human history. Discovery of trees may symbolize agriculture. Discovery of heavenly damsels conch may symbolize arts, dance, and music. Among 14 gems, Amrita and poisons, Lakshmi and Jeshta, Asuras and Devas form pairs of opposites. Probably the moral is that any action will result in good and bad. One has to help us by swallowing the poison, an action of great sacrifices like Lord Shiva. There will always be positive and negative forces in the world. Is it? We have to muster the strength of negative forces, asuras, to produce positive results. Now see treasures. 3 goddesses emerged. Number 1, Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune and wealth, accepted by Vishnu as his eternal consort, wife. Next, Apsaras, various divine nymphs like Ramba, Menaka, Tilotama, Punji, Sthala, etc., given to the Devas. Third, Varuni, Sura, goddess and creator of alcohol, taken somewhat reluctantly by the Asuras, Tamasika. 3 supernatural animals also emerged from the Milky Ocean. Kamadhenu, it is also called as a Surabhi. The wish-yielding divine cow taken by Lord Vishnu and given to the sages, so ghee from her milk could be used in sacrifices. Therefore, if we use the ghee of the cow for sacrifices, mean yajnas, or lighting a lamps, mean deepas, it gives prosperity to entire family, and it wards off the evil effects from the house. Therefore, don't forget to use cow ghee for lighting the lamp with deepam or any homa, etc. Other than gingerly oil, I mean nuvula nune, or whatever what is the puja, etc. oils. Now another one, divine cow has come in the form of Kamadhenu, Airavata, and several other elephants taken by Indra, leader of the Devas. Third one, Uchchaishravaha, the divine seven-headed horse given to the Asuras. Three valuable objects. What are they? Kaustuba, the most valuable jewel in the world, owned by Lord Vishnu. Parijata, the divine flowering tree with blossoms that never fade or will taken to Indraloka by the Devas. Another, a powerful bow, symbolic of Asuras' belligerence, like additionally produced were from the Milky Ocean. Chandra, mean the moon, which adorned Shiva's head. Therefore, previously Shiva, when he adorned, he became Chandrasekhara. Dhanvantari, the doctor of the gods with Amrita, the nectar of immortality, founder of Ayurveda. Third, Hala. Previously we understood the deadly poison swallowed up by the god Shiva. Goddess Lakshmi, among the objects that emerged during the churning, the most prominent one was Goddess Lakshmi. She was gifted to Lord Vishnu. The gifting of Lakshmi has important symbolic significance in the spiritual life. Lakshmi symbolizes material wealth or abundance. The underlying symbolism of the act of gifting her to Vishnu is that since all the wealth in the universe belongs to God or Brahman, it is necessary to return to him whatever wealth which a devotee finds or earns in his life. His sacrifice will keep him free from karmic debt and facilitate his progress on the path. Dhanvantari, we can say the divine physician. Let us see about him. Dhanvantari is a divine physician, mean doctor. He represents health or physical well-being. During the churning of the Milky Ocean, he manifested in the end with the vessel which contained the Amrita. Dhanvantari symbolizes the physical vigor, energy, and mental brilliance which arise from the long and arduous practice of yoga and penance. Thus, the body of a liberated being, means Jivan Mukta, is not only health but also divine as a vessel of immortality. Now see Mohini. Lord Vishnu takes a female form of Mohini. Let us see brief. At the time of distribution of elixir, I mean Amrita, we can say even nectar also, Lord Vishnu manifested as Mohini, a beautiful celestial maiden, and ensured that it was distributed to gods rather than the demons. One may criticize him for his partiality. However, there is an underlying symbolism in this also. Lord Vishnu is obeyed the dualities of likes and dislikes. He treats everyone alike. He simply performed his duty as an upholder of karma and dharma. Mohini is also symbolized the power of Maya, who deludes the worlds and beings from pursuing liberation by subjecting them to the delusion, desire, duality, and ignorance. Because of their evil nature and the demonic qualities, the Asuras easily fell under the spell of Maya and lost their chance to become immortal. Let us conclude. There is also an important message in this: human life is precious because only human can practice spirituality and attain liberation by using their intelligence. So people should not throw away the precious opportunities by pursuing evil desires in selfish actions under the spell of Maya. They should practice yoga, cultivate divine qualities, and work for liberation. Thus, Kshirasagara Madanam, churning of the Milky Ocean, is a symbolize of churning our mind to purify it. And we have to understand after watching this video that Kshirasagara Madana not only a story or any Puranic incidents, but it applies to our day-to-day life. Already detailedly given. So let us churn our mind from this moment. There will be good and bad who can come out from it. Let us give up the bad and follow the good for the welfare of oneself, his family, and to the universe. Srikanthaya Kalyana Nide Nide Dhanam Shri Venkatanivasaaya Srinivasaya Mangalam Mangala Asasana Prayer Purogamai Sarvaisha Purvairacharye Sakrutaya Stu Mangalam.